my name is Amber Rice, and I'm one of our evolutionary biologists as well as a co-director of our graduate program. The research in my lab focuses on understanding how new species evolve, and, once they have evolved, how that species boundary remains intact. To do this, we study natural hybridization between local populations of songbirds, specifically the black-capped and the Carolina chickadee. Hybridization occurs when individuals from two different species mate and produce offspring. This is interesting to us because it challenges that species boundary. If the hybrid offspring have low fitness, then that species boundary can remain intact. But if this is not the case, or if the existing barriers to hybridizing are weak for some reason, and there's a lot of hybridization going on, then you can end up with either an increase in biodiversity, if a new hybrid species is created, or what's probably more likely, a decrease in biodiversity as the two species collapse into one. We use a number of different approaches to study the causes and consequences of hybridization, including population genetics, climate modeling, and behavioral tests. The foundation of our work, though, is in field research. Because we work with natural populations that hybridize, we have to collect any blood samples or any animals we need for behavioral testing from the wild. This involves a lot of time outside, setting up mist nets, waiting, and extracting birds from nets. As you can see here, when we capture a chickadee, we place an individually numbered band on its leg for identification, measure a number of morphological traits, and collect a small blood sample for genetic analyses. We bring some of the birds we capture back to Lehigh, where we run them through some behavioral tests of learning and memory ability. Such abilities are important to chickadee fitness because they store food in many locations throughout the environment during the fall so that they can retrieve that food later. This ability to remember where food is stored is therefore a really important component of their survival and fitness. We test whether the birds we capture can remember the location of a food item, as you see here. In this test, a worm has been hidden in one of these pockets, and it's been in the same pocket each day for the duration of the test, which is about a week. We test how quickly each bird learns and how well it remembers the location of that worm. We also test whether these birds can solve a novel problem, where they need to figure out how to get to a worm that they can see through a transparent covering by pushing that covering from the side. Now, our data suggest that hybrids, which are shown here by the red line, have worse memories than pure species chickadees. So what you can see on this figure is how many pockets it takes before each individual or each bird finds that worm each day of the test. And you would expect that as they progress through the test, it should take them fewer inspections to find that worm. But the hybrids, shown in the red line here, actually take more tries each day to find that worm than is the case for either the pure species, which suggests that they have a worse memory for the location. We also have found that hybrids are less likely to be able to solve the problem with the food item underneath that transparent covering. It takes them hybrids only solve the test around 65% of the time, whereas the pure species birds are able to solve this almost 100% of the time. So understanding how hybrids are at a disadvantage compared to the pure black-capped and Carolina chickadee in this and other ways helps us to get a sense for what the outcome of their hybridization may be. And this is important now and in the future as well, because our data are suggesting that hybridization is likely to become increasingly common as the climate warms and the Carolina chickadee expands its range even farther northward. So in the Rice Lab, we're interested in a variety of other causes and consequences of hybridization in addition to what I've talked about here today. And graduate students get the chance to explore projects that intersect with their own specific interests, which helps to push the lab's research forward and helps to push the field of evolutionary biology forward. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed learning about some of the research going on in the Rice Lab, and we hope you'll check out the PhD program in Lehigh's Department of Biological Sciences.